Hey, what's up? It's the Buffy show, Buffy's Angels. I'm Daniel Ehrenberg, and over there's Logan. Happy 420, Logan.
Oh shit! I did not even realize that. I
Have
want to
you
say
have you
something.
lit up a doob yet?
No, not yet, but I will try my best to before the day's over.
All right, sweet.
I want to say I have a headache, everybody. So if I will try to be enthused throughout the episode, but I can't promise anything.
I bet you'll be more enthused because you're making an effort to be.
Well, I don't want to try too hard because I get really bad headaches, and if I try really hard, it hurts even more. So
You
we'll
get
see.
really bad headaches.
I get like I don't know. When I get headaches, they're really bad. I don't know how other people get headaches, obviously, because I'm only myself. But in my mind, I get really bad headaches.
Have you ever been concussed?
Yes,
Interesting. That might have something to do with it.
I was a little kid. I fell off my bunk bed,
Holy shit!
and then I threw up all over myself.
Oh my god, Logan. I think that might have fucked you up for life.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh. All right. We're doing talking about two episodes of Buffy this week. Sorry we didn't put the questions on the Patreon to see what you guys thought, but we'll tell you what we thought.
Daniel's fault.
It's fine. I let him have that this week. All right. Um, the episodes we're covering this week are "I Only Have Eyes for You," which is a bit of a classic, and "Go Fish," which is filler. Okay.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoy that episode too, but not a lot happens. In terms of the main plot. Logan,
Yeah.
do you want to know what happened these weeks? I'll tell you what. They took a month and a half break. They were in reruns for a month and a half after Killed by Death, and then they aired these last 4 episodes in 4 straight weeks. So we missed a lot.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like going back to those, so whatever.
That's all right.
This is April 28th, 1998. That's when "I Only Have Eyes for You" aired.
This is April 21st. That's what I have written down.
April 28th, 1990.
What happened? How did I mess up like that?
I mean,
you
you'll have
serious?
to ask yourself that, sir.
I'm gonna go look it up.
I'm gonna double check.
April 21st.
What?
You fucked up. April 21st, 1998. That's what IMDb says.
Well, the Wikipedia says April 28th.
Oh.
When the fuck did this air?
Interesting. So what does Go Fish say? I have May 5th.
Go Fish as May 5th.
Oh, wow. How did it?
So that's the following week. Wait, listen. I double checked though on TV Tango, which is where I see when like what else aired that night, you know?
Yeah.
And it said "I Only Have Eyes for You." Let me check what aired April 21st.
You definitely did more research, so I believe you. I just noticed that my date was wrong.
April 21st, 1998, Logan. They re-aired "Innocence," the episode where Angel loses his soul and Buffy loses her virginity.
Great episode.
Yeah, a classic. All right, so that's all right. You already got something wrong. Okay. So the number one song in America, Logan, was "Too Close" by Next. That was an R&B group at the time. Don't worry about it. I watched the music video this morning, so I'm refreshed on the song.
Yeah, I don't know it.
Feeling too close, making it up to you, oh girl. What a classic, Logan. But in the UK, the boy band craze started before it did here. We didn't care about boy bands until like later this year, but they already had one called Boyzone. It was a zone full of boys, and their song "All That I Need." I've never heard it in my life, and I didn't look it up. I don't need to hear Boyzone.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a man. Show me Man Zone. I'll watch
Boys
that.
to Men, we like them.
They've become men.
Oh shit! Wow, it has both of them. I didn't even think about that. I'm so stupid.
How dare you? All right. Tuesday night, I'll tell you what was going on at the same time this was airing. a little benefit concert called Rock for the Rainforest. And it's because in the 90s, we were very concerned about the rainforest. You could
I
see
wasn't.
that. Yeah, well, we all were, Logan. It was a big issue. We were scared of the hole in the ozone and
Y2K.
the Y2K for sure, and the rainforest. You could check out the movie Fern Gully. This is an animated film about the rainforest dying, or the episode of South Park where they go to the rainforest called Rainforest Schmainforest. Okay.
Okay.
Rock for the Rainforest. The headliners were Sting, Elton John, James Taylor, and Billy Joel. So if you're wondering, Rock for the Rainforest was the most boring concert in the history of the world.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Why?
You hate
'Cause
those
it's
guys.
True. They're all boring.
Billy Joel's like your least favorite dude.
Elton John's the best of the four, and it's not like he's amazing.
I like him.
He's all right. All right. Big music release week, Logan. New Dave Matthews album came out, I'll tell you that much.
Remember when he performed, not Dave Matthews, remember when Elton John performed Stan with Eminem?
Of course
to show
I
that he
do.
wasn't homophobic?
Yeah, and then Eminem gave the finger to the crowd at the end.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, I love gays.
Yeah, fuck you, I'm fine with fags.
Should have made out with him. That would have really proved the point.
Yeah.
I love Stan. That's a great song. Genuinely, I love that song.
It's an incredible song. One of my favorite Devon Sawa performances.
That's true.
All right. Here's Eve 6 released their self-titled debut this day. I was a big fan of that band. I had their first two albums. That's you familiar with them?
You gave me one of their songs, I believe.
Did I? No, there's no way I did.
I believe so, yeah.
Was it I would swallow my pride, I would choke on the rise?
I know that song, but I don't know if that's the
Yeah,
one.
well that's them. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Here, I wrote this down just because I thought it was funny. There was a rapper in the 90s called Big Punisher. Okay? He was a big, huge, fat guy, even fatter than Notorious B.I.G. And after a while, they shortened his name, Logan, to Big Pun. And I always thought that was funny because it sounded like just a big pun, like a really good pun. And so he released an album this day called Capital Punishment, which is hilarious because that's a big pun.
Yeah, probably the biggest one there is.
Yeah. How about that? Shout out to Big Pun. R.I.P. died from being far too fat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What about Notorious B.I.G.?
He died from getting shot.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Movies. Should we talk about the Cineplex?
Of course.
All right. Well, we've missed a lot. So I'll let you know what came out in the interim. But Titanic, no longer number one, Logan.
Yep.
Amazing. Still in the top 5, though, at number 4. The number 1 movie in America, debuting at number 1. I saw it in theaters. The Big Hit. That was like a Japanese.
Oh, that's the movie. I thought you were setting
Oh,
up
no,
for
no,
something.
the-
I
it
thought you were
was a
saying the
big
big hit.
It was a big. The Big Hit was the big hit.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Japanese influenced action comedy with Mark Wahlberg and Lou Diamond Phillips. I remember I liked it so much that when it came out on video, I was once at the video store with my dad. He was like, "What should we rent?" I said, "The Big Hit." I was so confident showing it to him, and he fucking hated it.
He said,
so
"Never
much.
again."
Never
It was
again.
like you with me on Hey, I'm Watching Here. He said, "You're never recommending me."
Yeah. It was like when you recommended me that video
Lemonade
game
Mouth?
movie. Oh, Lemonade Mouth. Yeah,
No, it
that
might have
was
been
much
something else,
worse.
but that's
That-
the funniest one, I
yeah,
think.
that was the worst. That was the nadir of that.
By the way, the
experiment.
anniversary just happened. I sent D-Train my favorite song from that movie, and he didn't reply. He didn't even give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. He didn't care.
I don't think I even saw that text.
What are you talking about? I clearly said it to you, and I was like, "Hey guys."
Well, you might have. Sometimes I just miss texts,
Oh.
or maybe I look at it when I'm tired. Oh yeah, here it is. The 12th anniversary of Lemon. The 12th anniversary. That's not an anniversary.
I know.
Send me that again in 3 years. Maybe I'll respond. All right.
12th anniversary. Come on, that's an anniversary. Like, if you and your girlfriend are together 12
Yeah,
years, you
it's a
celebrate
personal anniversary. You don't celebrate movies' 12th
that. I know.
anniversary.
It's very silly.
It's insane. All right. The number 2 movie in America coming in its 3rd week, so it was a big hit, was City of Angels with Nick Cage and Meg Ryan, a remake of the classic Wim Wenders film Wings of Desire, with one of the most annoying endings you've ever seen, until the closing credits when they played the Goo Goo Dolls song Iris, and then you're like, all right, I feel good again.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah. Number 3 in its 2nd week was The Object of My Affection, which I saw in theaters. I was a big Friends fan at the time. Jennifer Aniston and her gay best friend Paul Rudd, they experiment dating each other.
Okay,
All
don't
right.
spoil it.
I won't tell you how it went. All right. 4 was Titanic. 5.
Were they together in, or not together in Friends, but they were acted together in Friends, right?
After this, she might have introduced him to the Friends cast.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. 5 is Polly. That was a movie about a bird, I believe a talking bird, and its owner was a little girl played by Hallie Kate Eisenberg, the younger sister.
That's not a real person.
Yes, it is. Hallie Kate Eisenberg, the younger sister of Jesse Eisenberg. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. If you look her up, they kind of look the same.
Well, I never knew that person was real.
Yeah.
Wow. The more you know.
I'm opening up so many doors for you today.
What's the plot of that movie? He wants a cracker?
I think it's like a cross-country road trip kind of a movie, but I don't remember why. Her and the bird. Okay. Oh, no, it might just be the bird going to, like, different owners, and then she's looking for it.
All right.
Check it out, though. Polly. All right. In the interim, here's some movies we missed, Logan. Lost in Space.
That's the one that overthrew Titanic. I know that's a fact.
Okay, well, great.
That's like a fun fact I know. The Lost in Space overthrew it.
I saw it in theaters. I helped that.
That's cool.
The Odd Couple 2, which we'll cover on the show someday. Species 2, which we already covered on the show. And Mercury Rising, a movie about Bruce Willis trying to protect an autistic boy who learned secrets of the American government by finding them encoded in a crossword.
Wow.
That's the plot of that movie.
That person was on cocaine.
Yeah.
I wrote down a new release from last week because I thought that this show came out last week. Major League Back to the Minors came out last week.
Oh, well, we've covered that.
Yep.
What a classic. Couple of big indie releases this week as well, outside of the top 10. Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow. It's like 2 different realities. One if she made the subway train, and one if she didn't. And I'll tell you what, in one of them, she's got brown hair, and in one of them, she's got blonde hair.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And Two Girls and a Guy, a movie about 2 girls discovering they're both dating Robert Downey Jr., and they didn't know it. And then he gets him into a threesome.
That's pretty cool.
And it was written and directed by James Toback, one of the most Me Too'd men in America. He got the fuck Me Too'd out of him. And I'll tell you what, I recently, for some reason, came across a listing. Oh, I know why. Because I watched a version of Lolita, okay? The remake of Lolita from 1997. And on the Wikipedia page, it had a link to James Toback's top 10 favorite films of all time. And he had both versions of Lolita on it.
I don't really know what that was about, so.
It's about a fucking grown man falling in love with a 12-year-old girl. So, okay. I mean, how did we not know to Me Too this guy when he came up with that list?
Yeah, they should have.
I know. All right, you want to know what's going on in wrestling?
Yeah.
All right. We're dealing with, in Raw, we're dealing with the aftermath of Unforgiven, a big pay-per-view that happened over the weekend. The main event was Dude Love versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the big match that night, in my world, was an Inferno match between The Undertaker and Kane. And that's where they lit all the ropes on fire during the match. And it was a pretty lethargic match, to be honest, because they were probably both really hot from all those flames. And the match ends with Kane getting his arm set on fire.
Who won, though?
Undertaker.
Oh.
Well,
would have been cool if Kane won and set his own arm on fire to prove a point.
No. Oh, that's funny. No, he lost. He got his arm set on fire and then he ran away. And meanwhile, on Raw, we had the Degenerex invasion of Nitro. The Monday Night Wars were still going on. Around the time of WrestleMania, WWF overtook WCW, Logan, in the ratings. And so they had the members of D-Generation X, including Triple H, Road Dogg, and Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn. They went to the parking lot of a taping of WCW Nitro and got the fans to chant WCW sucks.
Wow. Love those guys.
Great stuff. All right. That's all I got there. Let's get into the episode. I Only Have Eyes for You, written by the great Marty Noxon, very prolific in the second half of this season. Last we saw her, what was her most recent episode? Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. And we've got a new director, James Whitmore Jr. James Whitmore Jr. He didn't direct much Buffy, maybe one or two others, but he's a very prolific television director.
There's One Angel.
One Angel, okay. Oh, it's actually a really good episode of Angel.
Episode?
Yes, it's a great episode.
Okay. 6 Dawson's Creeks.
6 Dawson's Creeks, including the final episode of Dawson's Creek.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
He's directed 80 episodes of the NCIS franchise across all the many spin-offs.
I noticed that too.
All right, 80. And he directed 12 episodes of one of my favorite shows, The Good Wife.
Wow.
What a director. He's a Nepo baby, Logan. His father, James Whitmore, was a famous actor in the 40s, and he's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Wow. Doesn't everybody, though?
His son, James Whitmore Jr., tried to follow in his footsteps, but the acting career didn't really pan out, so he became a TV director.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. All right, I'm done with my bullshit. Let's hear Logan's notes scroted about I Only Have Eyes for You.
All right, my first note, do you know the band Planet the Bronze?
Oh, I sure do.
What do you got?
They're called Splendid, okay? Now, they're an Australian duo. It's Angie Hart and her husband. And Joss Whedon was a big fan of them. So they pop up a few times in the series. They're the only band to perform twice at the Bronze other than Oz's band.
You forget their name or something?
I said their name is Splendid.
No, Oz's band.
Oh, Dingoes Ate My Baby.
Just call him Oz's band.
Yeah, I was just trying to be clear.
What was Cordelia's boyfriend's name?
Devin.
I think it's more his band.
Well, I guess.
He's the singer.
He is the front man.
Yeah.
But Splendid, they will perform again at the Bronze in season 4. And then there's this one song in a Buffy episode in season 7 that Joss Whedon co-wrote with this lady.
Wow, can't wait for that.
All right, looking forward to that. Season 7.
How many seasons are there?
That's the final season, 7.
7. All right.
All right, so yeah, the big I liked the song too. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with you. No Chibo Mato, but it was pretty good.
No, Chibo Mato is still the Bronze champions.
Yep. We'll see if anybody passes them. They don't have the bronze medal, I'll tell you that much. They have the gold medal.
Good Lord.
These people may have silver medal. I enjoyed them. I don't know if that's true, but I thought they were pretty good.
They're up there for sure.
They might have bronze, to be honest.
One of the best, along with nickel.
Oh, nickel! They have the nickel medal.
Yeah, they have the nickel medal.
That's hilarious. All right, next note. This guy Ben hits on Buffy, and she turns him down. Does he ever come back?
No, we'll have a different character later in the series named Ben, but this guy never comes back.
Interesting.
I thought I liked the cut of his jib though. It takes a lot to go up to like a girl. He like was in a class with her a year ago. He probably thought she was hot but kind of weird. And now he sees her at the club. He probably stared at her for like 30 minutes going like, should I go? Should I go up there? And then he did. He worked up the courage to ask Buffy out, and she fucking turns him down.
He was probably giving himself all the excuses not to. He was like, I'll order a drink. If she's still here, then I'll talk to her. And then he was like, and then I'll order another one if she's still here. And then she was still there. And he was like, all right, I guess I got to do it.
Yeah.
And I have to say, poor Ben, because in the very next episode, she's willing to date this dude Cameron. And right now, she turns this dude down because she's not ready. And this guy seemed perfectly fine to me. I agree with you.
That said, Willow has a convo with her after this. Like, maybe you ought to start thinking about dating. So maybe, like, this was the beginning of it. Like, this led her to being okay with dating that.
But that sucks. This guy's like the good luck Chuck. He was the person that led her to get married, basically.
You're right. He is the good luck Chuck. And he's way nicer than the fellow in the next episode.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we just learned. That guy might have seemed perfectly nice, too, if she turned him down and we never saw that.
That's true. He could have molested her later in the day. But we knew the guy in the next episode's a douche right away. He's yapping about the ocean and shit.
Yeah. Well, obviously he's going to be a fish guy. And the title, I guess, doesn't do it any favors. My next note is he said they had Miss Jackson. So I'm thinking maybe the outcast Miss Jackson. What do you think?
Wow, I thought too close by next, but you could do what you want. What do you mean, Miss Jackson?
That was the teacher they had together.
Yeah, good point. All right.
Wow, that didn't land.
I just forgot. That's a great catch.
Oh, something just happened with my. I don't know what just happened. We're still going. So they mentioned the Sally Hawkins dance and everything.
Sadie Hawkins.
What did I say?
Sally Hawkins.
Oh yeah, I don't know why
who
I
I
said
think
that.
is an actress from Mike Lee's Happy Go Lucky.
I have written down Sadie Hawkins. I don't know why I said Sally Hawkins. I guess because of the actress. But yeah, Willow's like, you gotta maybe date somebody or whatever, and she goes to the school to go talk to Giles or whatever. And this is like, the school's always open. I bring this up all the time, but it's crazy how open the school is at all hours of the day. My school was not like this, but yours? My school closed eventually.
No, my school locked for sure. I mean, and you'd think they'd be diligent about it in Sunnydale because it's like they know, like the principal of the school knows there are vampires roaming the streets of this town at night. No.
There's like the superintendent of the school know?
Oh, well, maybe.
They do say at one point, I think it's in the next episode. Maybe it's in this episode. They're talking to Snyder, and they're like, hey, maybe you're not fit for this job. So it seems like whoever put him here knows about this stuff. So yeah, I guess we're learning a little more.
Yeah. Slowly but surely. That was this episode. Cool.
Oh, that's this episode. Okay, yeah. So Buffy, she's on her way to go see Giles, right? But on her way there, she sees a guy and a girl. They're arguing. He pulls out a gun, and we see the janitor. Who plays the janitor, D-Train?
Deadwood's John Hawkes.
Yeah, this was very cool. Didn't expect this. In the next episode, we get somebody else famous to me.
We got a few familiar faces in these two episodes.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But this was the first of them.
John Hawkes. What's your favorite John Hawkes role?
Well, I really like him in that show that you made me watch. But one of my favorites.
What show did I make you watch?
Eastbound and Down.
Oh, Eastbound and Down. Hell yeah. He plays Kenny Powers' brother.
But one of my favorite things he's in is Identity. That's one of my favorite movies.
How about that one I recommended you, Me and You and Everyone We Know? He's in that too.
Oh yeah, he's the dad of those kids. Yeah. Right. And yeah, without him, that movie, he's the best part of that movie, I think. Anyway. Yeah, I like him. What was your question? I guess what my favorite thing was.
Yeah. Identity. Anyway, that's your answer.
What'd you say?
Identity is your answer.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think he's best in Eastbound. I think that's when he gets to play the most stuff. It's like in the whole show.
Basically. Deadwood is his best.
Well, I haven't seen that. That's what I'm going by. What I've seen. So Snyder's finally back after 10 weeks off or whatever, and he immediately interrogates Buffy about what happened. Basically, I don't remember. Yeah. But he brings up the movie JFK. What was that about?
Well, it's about the JFK assassination.
I know, but why did he bring it up?
Because he's saying, what, you have like some kind of conspiracy theory you want to share with me? Because that movie is all about conspiracy theories. Meanwhile, this is also where, doesn't Buffy say like he went all OJ on his girlfriend?
Yeah, OJ reference. Yep. They mentioned this one guy. Do they bring him back up? His name's Billy Crandall.
What?
They say Billy Crandall's like doing something. You got to go deal with him. So he leaves the room. Snyder.
Oh, right.
Is that a character that comes back?
Yeah, he's like a vegan kid who's chained himself to something.
Right.
He never. That's just a throwaway line.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. So we
I actually thought the dialogue in this episode was really funny. Marty Noxon kind of killing it. She really understands the characters' voices.
Yeah, I enjoy her. Willow, we see Teacher Willow for the first time ever, right? And well, I guess we saw like sad Teacher Willow, but here she's like destroying it, right? She's like making them laugh, and Giles comes in and she's like, "I'm crushing it." And I have a question. She says that Jenny Calendar left a lesson plan on the computer. Okay. And didn't Angel come in and destroy the computer?
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I guess that's because they're writing the show at the same time. Maybe they're like, you do this episode, you do this episode.
Maybe
they didn't realize.
Or maybe Willow got a hold of her personal computer, like her home PC.
It's possible, but it's possible. All right, that's a good point. So Giles ends up receiving a healing necklace. Does this come into play in Buffy?
Not at all.
Are you serious?
This is just a moment for Giles to feel sad about Jenny.
Oh wow, I thought this was like setting up something that was going to come into play in like a big finale at some point.
They
Buffy's
play
dying,
that
he heals her.
They play the little funeral score for a second during that moment too.
Wow, I didn't notice that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Buffy's in class. They leave class. Oh, Xander, he gets pulled into a locker, right? And they realize that there's some demon thing.
Something's going on. Yeah,
something's going on. This was kind of fun. And I have another question. They walk into the library and they're like, they say there's a locker monster, and Giles is like, Loch Ness monster. So do we ever see a Loch Ness monster?
I think the closest we get is probably the next episode.
Yeah, I actually, when we saw the next episode, I was like, oh, is this a Loch Ness monster? I guess that's a good point. Network reference, did you like that?
I'm dead as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Xander, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I fell for it for a second. I also thought that it was Jenny when they were like, we have to find out who the ghost is or was. I was like, oh, it's fucking Jenny. Especially because you told me she comes back.
Oh, right.
Because I said, like, we'll see you never. And you were like, oh, well, we'll see you again. And so I thought that this was her until Giles started being like, oh, it's her. And then I was like, oh, it's definitely not her. But I did think for a second that we were about to see Jenny Calendar again. But that would have been a little soon, maybe.
Agreed.
So John Hawkes kills a girl, right? He gets possessed.
I like that scene. Yeah, that actress is good too. They play it well.
Yeah, that's fine. Spike. What's going on with Spike?
Well, they're at their new vampire headquarters.
And he doesn't like it, right? He's like, fuck you, Angel. You destroyed what I had going.
Pretty much, yeah. This is a mansion, weird mansion, like abandoned mansion, which it's designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, the famous architect of the Simon and Garfunkel song "So Long, Frank Lloyd Wright."
Wow.
And this is a location. We'll see a few more times.
Okay. He calls him a few names. He's spiky. He roll with the punches joke because he's in a wheelchair. You know, the usual.
He says, I'm sure you'd be hell on wheels, but you'll slow us down. That was another.
Yeah, they're all right. They're okay. What was the other one? Oh, Roller Boy. He called him Roller Boy. I think that was my favorite one. That was a classic. That was last week, I think. So Giles is like, all right, so it's definitely Jenny, right? And they're like, No, sorry, it's not Jenny. It's actually like these people from a yearbook, right? They realize the something's going on with the
Right.
yearbook, and there
Because
was
when Buffy was in the principal's office, the 1955 Sunnydale High yearbook fell off the shelf randomly.
yes, exactly. And so they realize like there was a guy who killed a girl, and then he killed himself. So they start going through it.
Oh, and she gets transported back in time in that one class. Remember?
yeah, I do remember. Do you like that?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, the both actors are kind of slightly famous.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
recognize them.
The woman who plays the teacher who's having the affair with the student is Meredith Salinger, who obviously Patton Oswalt married after murdering his wife, and she was kind of a star in the '80s. She was in Dream a Little Dream of Me, the Corys movie, and Christopher Gorham plays the student. They tried to make him a thing for a little while. He starred on a show called Jake 2.0 as Jake 2.0. And Harper's Island was a show I watched that ran for one season that he was the co-star of. And he also is the voice of the Flash in most of those DC animated shits.
All right, I feel like you gotta watch out how you use the term famous. Neither of those people are famous.
Meredith Salinger's famous.
I don't think so. You said she is the second person to marry Patton Oswalt. I don't think that's famous.
She's the famous one. Patton Oswalt was previously married to a normie.
That name is actually kind of familiar. I'll give you that. I don't know who that is, but that name is familiar.
She's famous. Christopher Gorham was just like he was an actor that Hollywood tried to make a thing for a few years, and it didn't really pan out.
Would you recognize him if you saw him?
I did recognize him the second I watched this episode. I was like, "Oh, that's the dude from Harper's Island."
You didn't know that was him until this viewing?
I forgot. I mean, maybe I did at another point, but yeah.
All right, I don't think that guy's famous.
All right, fuck off.
All right, where were we? What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, so Buffy, she's basically like, fuck this dude. He doesn't deserve to live or get what he deserves or whatever. And but Willow's all like, maybe he does. I don't know what was going on. Willow like has compassion, but Buffy doesn't.
Well, the whole thing is like the way to get rid of ghosts is to like get them to like forgive themselves or whatever. And Buffy's like, I don't want to offer this guy fucking forgiveness. He murdered his girlfriend.
Yeah, but everybody else is willing to.
She's connecting to it because of the Angel situation.
Yeah. And she says at one point, she hopes that this isn't verbatim, but she hopes that the guy gets raped in jail. She's like, well, I hope that he goes to jail and finds a nice buddy in there and they form a great relationship or whatever she says.
He did say that.
Crazy. Buffy, like pro-rape. Who knew? So they go to lunch, right? They have a great cafeteria scene. 2 cafeteria scenes in these episodes, right? Which I thought was interesting because I don't think we ever really see it otherwise that much.
We'll see it more.
All right, but here we go. We saw it twice here, and there are lots of snakes show up.
Yeah, I like that.
Pretty cool.
A lot of snakes. One bites Cordelia in the face, and then later, one of my favorite lines in Buffy history is when Xander is walking through the cafeteria later in the episode, and he goes, "Ooh, yeah, it's snake-alicious in here, baby."
Wow, that's your favorite one. One of my favorites is in the next episode when he's on the swim team and he says, "Okie dokie, coachy." I thought that was so funny.
That is funny.
Oh man, Xander on the swim team, great idea. All right, so where were we? I got a little distracted. Oh, so this is where they talk to Snyder and they're like, maybe you're not cut out for the job, and he's like, and they're like discussing what the cover up story is, and someone's like, what happened? He's like, I had sewage backed up. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
So I like
There's
Snyder.
One big moment in this scene.
What's that?
That you probably didn't clock because it's foreshadowing. I think this was in my paper. When he goes, hey, listen, if you don't get this shit under control, I'm going to have to take it up with the mayor. You don't want that, do you? And Snyder looks scared of the mayor, and he's like, I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Because that's a character on the show, the mayor of Sunnydale. We'll meet him pretty soon.
Wow, can't wait for that. No, I didn't notice the title of the person that they. I just knew that maybe he wasn't fit for the job. That's what I was getting.
Yeah.
But all right, so there we go. The mayor. Can't wait for that. So what happened? Whose house are we at when we come up with this idea to like formulate a triangle at the school and do the possession? Whose house is that? Is that Willow's?
It's Buffy's house. We don't know
Okay.
where Joyce is.
Okay. Yeah, Joyce not in either episode.
Yeah.
Neither is Oz.
Good point.
No Oz, no Joyce. It's a bummer. So we learned something here. You know what we learned?
What did we learn?
We learned that Cordelia has seen The Exorcist.
That's true. Even the priest died.
That was fun. There's a big thing online right now because have you seen the trailer for this new Chris Evans Ana de Armas movie?
No.
Rom-com movie where they run up the stairs like the Georgetown Exorcist stairs, and people are all pissed. They're like, you can't use those stairs for stupid movies when that was in such an iconic movie.
What?
And,
Who gives a shit?
People online give a shit. I'm just bringing it up. So anyway, I'm just bringing that up.
What, we're not allowed to use the Joker stairs ever again either? That's too iconic?
No, I can't use the Rocky ones probably, right?
Probably not, yeah.
All right, so they go to the school. There's a spatula joke.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you enjoyed that?
That's fine. So Drusilla, she's all like, this was pretty weird. Drew's like, I sleep naked, and Angel like pulls her like real tight, close to his penis, and he's like, "Ooh, is that right?" And then,
Jesus Christ.
and then that's what happened. And then Spike is like, I don't like what's going on here. and then this is where Angel calls him special needs boy. Which
Yes!
way not as good as roller boy.
I thought it was pretty good.
Special needs boy.
Yeah, special needs boy.
Holy shit.
It's pretty mean.
Pretty just like straightforward.
Yeah. I like Drusilla in this scene. She's having a real fun time in this
I love
episode.
Drusilla.
Yeah.
Drusilla's so consistent, right? She's like really having to play a character more than anybody on the show, right? She's like, because she's not human. She's like the least human of anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like, and she just crushes it. Has she been in anything? Have you seen her and been like, oh, that's Drusilla, and she's playing like a normal person, and she's
yes, I have, but like she did not have nearly the career that I sort of expected her to.
Yeah,
Especially
she's
considering
awesome
she's
for
a
this.
nepo.
She's a nepo baby.
Yeah, she's Martin Landau's kid.
Martin Landau's kid. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so I really like her though. She's really cool.
No, she's great. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and I want to bring this up. This was awesome. So there's a moment where Willow's like, where Giles is like, I'm getting close to talking to Jenny. Leave me alone. And so so Willow's like looking through the looking through the library door, and then she turns and she starts walking off. And there's like a really cool transition where she leaves, and it like the camera moves to the right past the door, and then it cuts to Cordelia walking through like another door, and I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. Remind me a lot of like the early Saw movies, like Saw 2, Saw 3.
Sure. I thought it was cool too. Yeah, I clocked that. So shout out to James Whitmore Jr.
Absolutely. And I love when they're like anyone can like transition with edits, but I love when they're clearly directing to have an edit, and it felt like that to me. I love that kind of stuff. So shout out to them. Yeah. And
that happens in Star Wars The Last Jedi. They cut between the faces of Carrie Fisher and Adam Driver, and they make it so that they look alike. It's like, oh, they're mother and son.
wow, it's beautiful.
I just watched that last night.
So wasps show up and they have to leave the school, right?
Yeah, no Ant-Man, just wasps.
Well, we don't know. It could have been there. It's just so small.
That's a good point.
So this is when we learn about like the guys in purgatory. We gotta forgive him, whatever. I don't know. And so Buffy goes off, and they're like, "It's okay. Buffy's alone. Nobody can do the shooting part because Buffy's by herself."
Right.
And then Angel shows up, and you're like, "Oh no, Angel's gonna kill Buffy." And then no, Buffy's doing the thing where she's like, "You'll never leave me. If you're gonna
Yeah.
if I can't have you, nobody can." And
They
so she
swap genders.
Gender
It's
swap, right.
Buffy doing the male part and Angel doing the female part. I thought it was really clever.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's sort of nothing. Nothing's gonna happen because then you're like, what? So she's gonna shoot a vampire with a gun? What was I gonna do?
But then there's the whole suicide part of it.
Yes, I forgot about that at this point. I was like, so what? She's gonna shoot Angel, and then it happened, and I was like, oh wait, oh shit, I forgot about this part. And then so yeah, she starts walking off, but then Angel obviously is a vampire, so he just gets up and he goes and saves her. And so why the sudden change of heart for Angel? By the way, though,
That was he's still possessed. This was like
great. Yeah, I forgot.
this was a fantasy of James's.
Yeah, he's not actually Angel.
The dead boy. That's like what he wished could have happened.
That's what Angel would call him for sure, dead boy.
Yeah, hey, dead boy.
Deceased boy, probably. That's a more Whedon-y line.
Hey, no heartbeat guy. All right. So yeah, I love this scene, and famously, this is Joss Whedon said it was during watching David Boreanaz's act this scene that he came up with the idea for this Angel spinoff.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In such an episode where Angel's barely in it, he just crushed his one scene enough to secure a whole show.
It's true, yeah.
That's awesome. That is really cool. And secure a whole career out of it, too.
I know.
Like, without this scene, he wouldn't have gotten that. He wouldn't have gotten the next one. He wouldn't have gotten the next one.
Bones, SEAL Team, all the greats.
That's awesome. So then what happens? Like the next day they're at school, everything's normal, cafeteria back to normal, no snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Angel's back home. They're back in that big mansion, I guess you said.
Yeah.
And he's showering. He's like, gotta get this filth off of me. I can't believe that happened. And then what do we learn?
Oh well, him and so Angel and Drusilla leave, and Spike reveals he's better, and he's faking being in the wheelchair. He stands up.
Yeah. So in the next episode, you think, oh, Spike's gonna be wreaking havoc. Nope, we just got fish guys walking around.
No,
that's what I thought.
That's set up for the finale.
Yes. Only the finale, part 1 or only part 2? Is it part 1, part 2 situation?
Yeah,
what
it's
is
a
it?
2-parter, so it's both.
All right, awesome. That's the third. Is it the third part 1, part 2 this season?
Yeah.
We didn't have any season 1. Now we've had 3.
I know.
All right, so what do we give it? We give it a 4, 3.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 4. Oh wait, one other thing is you don't see it on the streaming or on the DVD, but at the end of this episode, Sarah Michelle Gellar delivered a lovely PSA warning us of the dangers of teen suicide.
Who did? Sorry?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Wow, that's nice. They had that before every 13 Reasons Why episode. Also. After a certain point, I think they got called out. Like, hey guys, come on.
No, but here it was like Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like it was like she walks into frame and she's like, "If you're a teen and you're considering killing yourself, maybe don't."
Yeah, maybe don't do that. They didn't have logic back then to
no.
do the phone number.
Letting you know that phone number.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die today. Oh man. All right. So, who's your MVP? I'm gonna go Buffy. Maybe
Buffy.
Boreanaz. He secured a show I didn't know about.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
part of
Buffy,
me wants
though.
to go Boreanaz. I'll also give a shout out to Willow, who when Giles is really fucking it up this week, she really takes control. She's kind of like leading the gang.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's doing the most acting. I think she's great in this one.
Yeah, I kind of think she's great too. I'll also go with Buffy.
And LVP, I'm gonna go Giles. Get it together, bro.
Fair enough, man.
Gotta go Giles.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's good. Giles.
All right. I ranked this 15th. I put it between Witch and What's My Line Part 1.
Not as good as Witch.
Not as good as Witch.
All right, read me mine from the top down.
Yours from the top down. Innocence, Passion, Prophecy Girl, When She Was Bad, Lie to Me, Angel, School Hard, Halloween, Bewitched, Bothered, Bewildered, Surprise, Ted, The Pack What's my line?
You could put this after Bewitched, Bother, and Bewitched. No. After Surprise, Before the Pack.
Ted is between those. What about that one?
Ted is between those?
It goes Surprise, Ted, the Pack.
Surprise, Ted, the Pack. Put it between Ted and the Pack!
All right. I think that's a good choice. So you have a 12. I have a 15. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
All right. So next episode.